Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Carlos speaking. It's about English language, and we have many videos talking about management, talking about English grammar, vocabulary, everything about English. All right, I will talk more about the channel at the end of the video, so if you don't know what it is about, you can stay until the end. Today we will continue talking about human resource management, right? And this series of human resources aims at giving a very detailed look at human resources. It's like a complete course, you know. I'm taking some books into consideration to guide my explanation. So I hope it will be useful for you. And it's possible that you may learn more expressions in English and how to make more sentences and how to build a business vocabulary, because you know, business vocabulary is not taught in classic English schools. They teach English so that you can get by, so that you can talk to people in everyday English. So it's specific. No, it's not specific English. Depending on the area where you work, you may have to learn specific English. English regarding laws, English about engineering. For example, when I was 20 years old, I went to an internship at a metallurgical company, and I had to learn many expressions about engineering, such as blast furnace, for example. So it's very specific. Not everyone needs to know that, but when you engage in a business, for example, IT vocabulary or HR, logistics, marketing, and so on, the list goes on. It's impossible to have the entire array of vocabulary. It's impossible. Every day you learn something new. So that's the idea. Okay, today's video by showing you an interesting picture that I found at the website techjockey.com. And here it shows the features of HR. Just as an example of what I will talk to you today, we will talk about human resource management in general, and there are many things to talk about it. So I don't know whether I will be able to talk about all this in one video. As a matter of fact, my video is not aimed at this. I just put here to show you some ideas, right, of human resources. They are oriented, people-oriented, individual-oriented, future-oriented, decision-oriented, development-oriented, employee-oriented, and action-oriented. So there are many features. And when you compare personnel management and human resource management, there is a huge difference. I talked about it in my last video. Even in this article, for example, there is a suggested read that says, what are the differences between personnel management and human resource management? I will cover accordingly because I have already read about it in my materials, okay? Okay, so let's continue talking about the topics just to guide our conversation, right? I put some main ideas here to guide our conversation and to make you think. The idea here is to provide food for thought in English, but people who may be interested in management also can access my channel to learn more and learn together with me because, you know, before recording videos, I give some time reading and making some notes, right? Getting the highlights, the main ideas, and putting them in here. So what's the main benefit? I can think in English for more time. I can speak more in English. I can learn new vocabulary and build new ideas in a technical level. That's the main purpose here. I help myself and you help yourselves, right? That's the catch that we have here. There is not a catch in a bad idea. When you say, oh, there is a catch, it means that there is something that you haven't told and it's wrong. No, it's not the idea, okay? Okay, so a company, you know, a company must have people to make the capital work, right? The capital doesn't work by itself. The money doesn't work by itself. Companies, they need to be very aware of their role in society, right? And companies, in order to make anything work, needs people. And how does the company provide people to run the business? Human resources is there. Not only human resources, but human resource getting things done. I remember saying in the last video, for example, that there are some companies, many, or the most of the companies in Brazil, for example, they are middle-sized or small-sized, and many companies don't have a specific department, human resource department. I worked for a small company. I have some experience, one in a big company, which had a metallurgical company, which had a human resource department, but it wasn't, how can I say, you have the HQ, the headquarters, and you had many different branches, right? So this company, for example, had many different branches, and each branch had a small unit, a small HR unit that was responsible to run the more operational role, right? But the human resource department, the strategic level, you didn't have many of them in the branches, just the HQ, just the headquarters centralized the HR function. And why am I saying that? Some companies, they don't even have an HR department. I worked for a language school, and this language school had a director which was responsible for everything, for hiring, for paying, right? When it came the payday, he called each teacher separately and make the accountability of how many classes you have taught, how many hours you have taught, and then how much money you would get for the month. It was in paper, right? It was very anti-IT, right? I don't know how they run right now, but it's just a small company. Maybe they have 20 employees. Most of them are teachers. You have a secretary, you have a director. So in this kind of business, you don't need to have an HR. You have maybe a coordinator, right? Responsible for the English methodology. And this person was also responsible for interviewing candidates to be teachers. So it's very practical, right? But big companies, they don't work like that. They need to have people to make it work. Okay, the bigger the company is, the more they need to be strategic. At least that's my opinion. But it doesn't mean that small or middle-sized companies don't need to be strategic as well. Everyone needs to think strategically and to how can I say, to make the situation better, to improve, to learn more and more. That's it. So the capital, as I said, isn't going to work by itself. So you need to have people to work. Okay. Remember that I said that HR, Human Resource Management, HRM, has undergone many changes. Much has happened to HR function throughout the times. When people who is theory, I have a book about management theory, which is a very good one. I have to search for it. I guess it's somewhere. If I find it easily here, I can get it. I can get you, but I guess it's not here. I will find and show you the next video. You see, that place has many management books, but I also have English books, English-based books. Oh, I found one. Managing and Organizations. This was a book which I bought during my master's degree, and I will explore it in videos somehow. It's a great book, but not only this, I have one about design, organizational design. I have to find it. Oh my God, I don't know where is it. There are many books around here. I don't know. Maybe I will show you later. Oh, no, I can't find it. There are many books around. Can't find it. But I will find. It's not nearby. Sometimes my house is in such a mess that I have to organize things. It's a book on organizational design, which my teacher highly recommended, as I guess she had a doctorate degree in France, and she advised us to buy this book. So I bought it, but it wasn't a new book. I had to buy it used because I wasn't able to find an edition which was new, and she said that we had to buy the book, but I bought it, and it's here somewhere. I will find it, and maybe the next video I will show you the cover. Okay, so HR has undergone many different changes, and when you study management theory, you realize how management has evolved since classic management, since the beginning, with Taylor, right? And then it came Fayol and stuff like that. You had blah, 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 until you have nowadays. I'm not going to go through the whole theory because it's not the focus here, at least in this series. Maybe another series when I have the time, and I will record about general management. It's very interesting aspect of a very interesting topic. So HR changed. It was a personal department. So what is a personal department? You didn't talk about HRM. You just said, okay, I have an HR department. It was responsible for processing payroll, okay? To make sure people get the money at the end of the month. Many HR departments, they even sent birthday gifts to employees. Some of them keep track of the birthday dates, right? So they think maybe, it's a motivational thing. In the past it was, maybe, I don't know. Arranging company outings, right? Make sure that you have events and things like that. It's everything about operational. Let me make sure what the term outings mean. I'm not very familiar with this expression. Okay, it's an event. I highly recommend that when you don't know a word in English, you type it on at Google, and you type with the word you don't know, and then following meaning. Why do I recommend that? When you do that, you see outings, meaning. I put the word here. You can easily check the pronunciation by clicking here. Outing. Okay, and here you have different meanings. Outing, a trip taken for pleasure, especially lasting a day or less. So it's an event, okay? A trip, an excursion. HR is always known for events. It's about group events in which they celebrate something, or maybe just to get together to improve morale. So it's something very important. And many different ways. You can arrange a lecture. HR was responsible for organizing events, even organizing events. Some companies, they don't have this, HR doesn't have this role, even because they have a different departments. For example, communication department, which focuses on this, marketing, internal marketing, indoor marketing, as well as events, conferences, HR conferences, or technical conferences, lectures, courses, events in general. So communication is responsible. HR in the past was also responsible. Make sure the forms were filled out correctly. So it's very bureaucratic, right? You have many forms to fill, right? To write, to complete. To fill out a form, it means to complete something. Fill out a form about benefits, about resumes. There are many things, different things. The general information of an employee in a company, right? About the job position, how this person is in the hierarchy, the role this person takes. You also have information about career path, the compensation, how much this person earns per month. So everything is part of HR information, right? To keep track of everything. So as I said before, HR in the past wasn't strategic. People didn't think about the strategy because the management as a whole wasn't as management was created by engineers, right? And we didn't consider management or administration to be a science. It slowly there was a slow evolution until becoming a different set of knowledge. And even human resource is a function from a management that has a whole set, a whole books of knowledge about it. you have marketing, you have operation, you have finance. And you see, the dynamics changed throughout the time. Psychology, for example, in the past, we had the industrial psychology. And part of it is part of management, but there is a part of it that became part of psychology as a science, right? Psychology of individuals, people, social psychology, and you have psychology in organizations, which is a separate thing. I have a book about psychology in organizations, although it's not in English, it's in Portuguese. In English, I have few management books. I don't have many, not many books. I'm looking around because maybe I can find something around here, but most of my books, my main books, they are there. Some of them are, I put it away in a shelf, so I have much more books than it seems to be in here. Okay, with you. Management, human resource was an administrative role. You see, there is nothing about strategy here. When you see here, the main attributes of HR in the past, none of them were about strategic roles. And here, this list is just some examples, okay? Some examples, there are many more, of course. So it took some time until there was a shift, a significant shift towards being a strategic role. And we realize now that it's crucial to the success of the organization. Something that nowadays we take for granted, but in the past it wasn't like that. Well, every manager has some role relating to human resource management. That seems obvious to some people, but it's not. Many people, even nowadays, many managers, they think, oh, this is HR problem, even today. And the company I work for example, you have some people who still believe that dealing with people, managing people is a role that they don't have to take. They treat it, some people treat it as it has a minor relevance, it's not relevant, I can have someone do it for me, because they think about the operational role. They think of HR as being administrative, taking an administrative role, but you know, it's not like that. And selling this idea of being strategic, even if your HR department is strategic, is very difficult. Very difficult. It's about the culture of the company. If you work for a very technical company, which has at the top mainly technicians, engineers, people in the technical level, or maybe they don't know anything about management at all, don't know anything, it doesn't mean they are bad managers. They may be good managers, they may be good people, they have good people management, but not necessarily. And people who don't have these abilities, they must develop throughout the time in order to become a leader. Being a manager doesn't mean that this person is a leader. There is a huge gap between these two concepts, right? What was I talking about? I talk about many things, and sometimes the ideas come and go, and it doesn't mean I lose track of what I'm talking, but sometimes I say something that is important, and I want to take it back to the topic, but I don't know, I forgot. But anyway, As I said, every manager has a role relating to human resource management. Every manager does people management. Of course, it's not the main activity. It takes some time, of course. Every manager knows that it's responsible for make the plan, the goals, planning the goals, right? The objectives, the performance management from their employees, providing feedback, positive or negative feedback, knowing what competencies are necessary for running the operations of the department is also important. What else? There are many things. Interviewing people, selecting people for a job position, defining the job position. Because sometimes, okay, I see there is an overload. I need more people to run because people are complaining they are working too much, so I need more people. Or do I need more people? Or if I have a better balance of the workload, people can be happier, people can produce better. So it's complex, and everything fills in the role of the manager. And it's not HR. HR has a supportive role. Of course, it doesn't mean that HR is not strategic. It's a support role, yes. But HR exists, at least in my idea, to help the company thrive, help the company improve, help the company achieve their goals. And these managers, they have to understand their roles. And okay, I need help from HR. I need guidance from HR because I don't know how to do this, how to do that. That's HR role. But when they say, no, I don't have to plan my employees' careers, this is the role of HR. No, that's wrong. First of all, people are also responsible for their own careers. Yeah, that's right, but the manager must be the guide and must know well their employees, right? Their strengths and weaknesses in order to bring the best of them, okay? Okay, let me zoom out here. Okay, most managers deal with compensation, as I told you before. When they define private companies, for example, when they define a job position, they are responsible for rating that position, that job position. Is it complex? The attributes, the responsibilities, and based on all that information, they say how much money that position is worth. Yeah, there are some companies that most managers deal with that, not HR. In bigger companies, it's not, the technical managers, they don't deal with that. Bigger companies, they have a career plan, and they have a table, a salary table. You have a clear idea of the career ladder, how people will climb that ladder over time, right? Be promoted and advance in their careers. So that information, for example, in the company I work is in HR. In bigger companies, in general, that information is HR related, but small companies, no, it's not that. The manager does everything, does it all, right? It's a jack of all trades, right? to being responsible for rating that job position, saying that, describing that job position, not formally necessarily, like filling out a form and saying the name of the job, the attributes. No, not necessarily. Some companies don't even do that. They just say, oh, I need a maintenance technician here, and to do this, that, and that. Okay. When the person comes, is hired, he starts working to fill the gap, the activities gap and process gap that they have, but it doesn't mean that their action will be limited to the job description, because most companies, they don't even have a job description. They don't. So managers in general, they deal with compensation, yeah, but bigger companies not necessarily. Motivation, I believe both HR has a crucial role, but the managers as well. The managers, I believe that's something that there are some theories, some motivational theories that say that people don't motivate. You can't motivate anyone. I agree to some. I believe people are motivated. People are motivated by a set of needs. Every person has different needs. Some people need to be appraised in an intangible level. Some people need to advance in their career in more tangible way. There are people who are not motivated by money, but some people are motivated by money, depending on the activity, on the complexity of it. So, it's different for everyone. So it depends on the background. Each person has a different background. But the manager, as a whole, must know must have a diagnosis in general of what motivates their team. Managers must do that. Of employees, how can I keep the employees working for my company and not with the competition? Right? So you see, these aspects, they are not only part of HRM, but also part of management in general. So what it's saying here is that it's not a responsibility strictly for HR. HR has many responsibilities, but managers in general, they are also responsible for many processes and activities from HR function. So you see, it works like that. One plays a role, but a manager must have a broader idea about everything that they are responsible for. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget that this channel is dedicated to English language, so this video is business English related. And we discuss ideas here to make you more proficient in thinking in English and being able to build ideas in English. That's important in an advanced level, because thinking in English requires you to forget Portuguese and have a mindset towards English itself. So it requires a wider vocabulary basis in order to allow you to speak, to think, to express yourself. Everyone must learn and keep improving in English. I'm far from perfect, but I record these videos to improve myself, to think in English, to force my mind to think in English, and to learn more about management as well, okay? And we have basic videos intermediate, advanced. Basic videos, they are explained in Portuguese, and intermediate, advanced, they are English only. We have almost 800 videos available, so there is a lot to watch. A complete English grammar course available. A complete course, not just highlights, a complete course. And we have many different playlists. You can choose the playlist that fits you the best, and as well as search the topics, putting the keywords, right? When you open the main page of my channel, you can type, use the magnifying lens, and in front of it, you type the topics you want to study. All right, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to get the latest updates, give the thumbs up if you enjoyed the company. See you next time.